Guys, I really can't stand this. It's currently 3:01 a.m. I've been stuck awake. Part of it is my fault this time because on Monday and Tuesday I stayed awake. Friday I stayed awake. But it wasn't like I was awake at times that I hadn't been awake for the rest of the week either. It was just that instead of laying in bed, I was playing video games or something. So I didn't really help the problem. But I don't think I hurt it either. I really want out of here. Out of this school. I'd be content just to be stuck in this goddamn room if I could just be out of this school. You know, I never realized how good I had it when I was a NEET, because I had been a NEET for so long at that point. And then I thought, you know, maybe my life will be better if I'm a normie. Maybe if I become the normie arc, if I do the normie arc, I'll be a better guy or something. But turns out now I look back and for those few days where I thought longing for normiedom would be an improvement, there were 5 other days of that week where I was happily watching videos or listening to podcasts, watching anime, participating in based, wrecked threads. I was having fun. I was enjoying my life. I've been enjoying my life for the last couple years. There were problems, there were ups and downs, mental illness, but it was always better than this. Before my mental health problems got really bad, too, I mean, they were always kind of there. But even when I was homeschooled, you know, back before I ever got put in school, the alone time that I got was so much better than being forced onto this schedule, being forced around normal fags. I remember what it was like. Whenever I get days off, it's like they're dangling that taste, that little bit of neatdom in front of your face, almost as if it's gawking at you from above, like, oh, you know you want it, but you can't have it. They pull it away the moment that it gets really good. That's what it feels like to get on breaks in school. And here I am, trying to get to bed. And I can't. I went into my dad's alcohol, which he didn't even have that much of. I'm probably gonna get in pretty big trouble for it. I drank a bunch of that, hoping that I could get to sleep more easily. Didn't work. I didn't pass out or anything. My head just kind of hurt. It was pretty fun, but I didn't pass out like I had hoped. So I'm just kind of stuck here. Still awake. still awake trying to get to sleep. We have to be very, very quiet as not to wake anyone else up in the house. You know, I would complain all the time back in the good old days about how I never got to record videos late at night because there were people sleeping in the other room that could hear me, and they did not want me to be talking. But at least I had the time to record something in the first place. But at least I had things to say because I was consuming. I was reading. I was getting ideas from that material, watching anime, watching other YouTubers, and thereby getting ideas from them. I had all kinds of different experiences of other people, and I was learning from that. You know, what is learning but just receiving second-hand experience? You know, in order to learn anything, you have to allow yourself to be able to listen to the experiences of others, written down or verbally, except those experiences have just been passed down for sometimes hundreds of years. It's the entire process of learning. You're getting things from others, logical processes and this kind of stuff. And then taking those things and putting them into practice, like, say, writing, for instance, speaking, drawing. You're taking other people's experiences and then using it for your own practical purposes. You're learning from them in order to also learn from yourself. I had the time to do that, and as a result of having the time to do that, I had things to say. And now it seems like all of the inspiration for my work comes from the fact that I am actively suffering every single day. It didn't used to be like that. It didn't used to be that there were constant annoyances, constant existential dread, constant pain and pressure, a constant lack of sleep, because I had the freedom to sleep when I needed to. When my brain wanted to rest, I rested. But now, those mild annoyances of not being able to record videos at a certain time, those mild annoyances of not always having my privacy, those mild annoyances of not being able to eat good food always, or any food sometimes, are amazing in comparison to what I have now. Where there may be food on the table, there may be lights, a roof to sleep under, and yet I find myself forced every single day to come into that same goddamn building with 3 hours of sleep, only to get a headache or to hallucinate during the work that I'm supposed to be doing, while the work that I should have done piles up and piles up and piles up until I become so far behind that I can't even tell where I am anymore. I don't get work done a lot of these days because these other problems end up interfering, problems that have been exacerbated by the fact that I have to be at that school in the first place. My lack of sleep, for instance, makes all of these pre-established problems that I have worse. And so because of that, I get more migraines when I already got them pretty regularly. I get worse hallucinations when I already got those pretty regularly. And my depression is vastly worse because I'm forced to be around NPCs that I do not like being around, that actively make me sad because I'm around them. And it's here that we see a very large culmination of a lot of bad things at once that make for an experience that, let's just say I'm not a big fan of. And this is why you've seen me make so many videos about how terrible the school experience is, and more videos about neatdom, about being a NEET lately, is because I'm like desperately clinging on to the idea of it. I'm looking back and I'm remembering who I was. I'm remembering the way things were, and I just want it back because I know how much better I had it. When you were a NEET, for as long as I was, especially with my memory problems, that's one thing. Eventually, you just have a bad day, and you think, maybe being a normie will fix all of it. Maybe being a normie will be, in some way, even if it's small, better. I've tried so many times. Over and over and over again, I've tried being a normie. And I've only been met with disgust and failure. You know, I try to get on a sleep schedule. That doesn't work for my entire life. Oh, take some meds to do it. 6 months later, meds don't work. Can't get to sleep anymore. And you have a harder time sleeping because of that. Oh, just make some friends. Just interact with people. Once you build up those social skills that everyone's been talking about, and you utilize them, you realize that you didn't want them in the first place, that you were happier just by yourself. I've been falling for these memes, these things that society has told me over and over and over again. And it hasn't worked. I haven't wanted to do any of it. It's just made me sad. And that's why I sound so desperate in these videos now. That's why I sound so nostalgic in these videos. Because here I am, stuck, knowing that in like 3 hours, 4 hours, I'm gonna have to be awake and do everything all over again. And I'm just sitting here at the computer because I keep laying in bed these nights. I keep laying in bed for so many hours that it's just depressing. It's just depressing spending that long trying to get to bed. I don't want it anymore. I just want to go back, man. I just want to go back. I wish I didn't have to do this. I just want to get my papers from the doctor that say that I have mental health problems. I just want to get those papers from the doctor so I don't have to do this anymore. I need to take those papers to the school administration and tell them, can you please let me do this program at home? Because I know other people have done it successfully in that school. I know they've been allowed to do their work at home. I just need the valid reason. I can't keep doing this, man. I can't. I've been thinking more and more about killing myself. I never did that before. It had been so long. It had been more than a year since I had seriously considered it. Fuck. Jesus Christ, man. I want to take this moment to thank everyone who supports me on Patreon and watches the ads. on the videos. It's because of you that I've been able to pay a lot of the bills around here since coming back to school and a little bit before. The reason I had to go back to school, a lot of it was tied to a financial problem, is that my dad couldn't get access to welfare services without me going to school in some capacity. And the stuff he's been getting hasn't really been able to supplement our livelihood, our existence. And so I'm very, very thankful to those of you who watch the ads and who give to me on Patreon. Man Chronicles, Anime Watcher, Rags, Mordecai, Calliope, and AkiTG. And there was one other person. I don't really want to disclose their name because it's their full name, but thank you to everyone who supports the Patreon account. It's a really hard time, is kind of why I was forced into being enrolled in some kind of school, so thank you.